Iman Gadzhi has made over $108 million in his career, from starting out as an agency owner to now being a serial entrepreneur with multiple software companies. And in this video, I'm going to dive into the exact strategies he has used to amass a multi-million-dollar net worth, as well as make over $108 million plus in his career. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video. So I want to break down exactly what he's done to begin with. Obviously, if you're watching this, I presume you know Iman Gadzhi and roughly know his journey. So I'm going to very quickly, over the next few minutes, just go through in brief detail what he's done in his journey to make this much money so far. And on the other end of the video, I'm going to dive into some of the other tactical techniques and tips and tricks and specific methods that you can use that also Iman Gadzhi hasn't even used yet in his career to be able to make millions and millions of dollars, not only in Iman Gadzhi's career, but in your career as well. So let's get straight into it. So if you don't already know, how did Iman Gadzhi make his first million? And this was all through IAG Media, which was his first marketing agency. He actually had a creative agency before IAG Media was officially like a high ticket, a kind of e-com and info product agency. But ultimately, he got his start around the time he finally dropped out of school, around 2015 to 2017. And then in 2017, he properly started IAG Media and he started working with info products and e-commerce brands. And that's how he made his first $1 million profit. That is, not just $1 million in revenue. So that's how he got his start. Obviously, before then, he was kind of doing like gym personal training things with some of his friends' mums and just in a local area. He's got his first client from his first creative agency by writing their social media posts for a local football club he used to go to. So that's just how he got his start. And then after he started making his first few $100,000, this was what helped him lead up to becoming a multimillionaire, was him getting into coaching and consulting, and specifically for beginner agency owners. So at the very beginning, he knew he was very good at marketing. He'd learned a lot from his working with his first few clients, and he started to begin helping other agency owners, whether they were just starting out or even other business owners, with their marketing strategies. So a lot of the misconception with his coaching and consulting is most people presume or just immediately think that he never made much money in the agency with clients. He just made the bulk of his money with coaching and consulting. And although that is true to an extent, it's not the full picture, because a lot of what actually happened was he would coach and consult for large brands or his clients that were either info products or for his other e-commerce brands he's coaching with, because ultimately if he could provide them a service as a contractor or as an agency, he can also go to their business and actually provide the marketing strategies in person on whiteboards or on documents and things like that. So that's actually documented on his YouTube channel as well. But that's how he got well over the first $1 million mark and went into basically what started his info products and digital product journey, which is where he began selling a variety of info products for people just starting in the agency space or people wanting to make their first, $5,000 to $10,000 a month online. And this is how he started like the IAG Media Services brand, which was like copy paste agency, agency incubator, agency navigator. And over the last year or so, as of 2024, 2025, you've probably heard of Agency Accelerator as well, which was the last kind of info product he actually sold to his audience as part of just that larger info product, basically, that also had Agency Accelerator Pro and a few other products as well to kind of help agency owners not only start a business and start an agency or any service-based business, but also scale it to well beyond even like $1 million a year profit. So that is how he got to making well into the 7 and 8 figures profit in the last few years of his career. Now, the interesting thing that I will also dive into more detail on in this video is now what he's got into over the last couple of years, and actually as of the last few years, long-term properly, is after Copy Paste Agency, after Agency Accelerator, after Agency Incubator, all these software companies, he then started selling tools. He started selling software to help the agency owners and the successful students that he had helped so far in his career by providing them with a software that ultimately he just wished he had had himself when he was starting his first agency. So that's why he made what was Agency Flow. I think it was Agency with an I Flow. And that turned into Flowsy in the last year or so. And ultimately what this was is just an all-in-one solution for any service-based business, basically, that was providing some sort of digital product or service to their clients or customers, and to be able to just handle everything from like team management, client management, customer management, and everything in between, doing all the calls and doing all of the handling management and tasks and invoices and funnels. So that is what he started doing in the last few years. And this is also how he's turned it into basically an 8 and potentially even 9 figure business evaluation in itself, along with a bunch of other software companies that he does keep private as well. But that is the main thing he's got into. And now, of course, in the last few months or so, depending on when you're watching this, as of, recording this as of end of January 2025, in 2025, the very beginning, he started promoting the one thing. And I call this Tools 2.0 because people know that in the last couple of years, he properly started promoting Agency Flow, or Flowsy it was now referred to as, and that was the software for agency owners. And then in the last 3 to 6 months, maybe the last 3 months really, he started basically promoting the idea of building your own micro-personal brand, or people basically beginning to create content around a certain niche, and then selling to that niche a high-ticket product or service to them. And that is where the one thing comes from, because the one thing here being building a personal brand. And so that is obviously as of January 6th and January 13th was the kind of product launch demo he put together on YouTube, and that's how he's now integrated a personal brand blueprint in with Flowsy as well. So it's kind of two pieces together in one that is technically his like final information product, which is still like blueprints and demonstrations of how to put a personal brand together and start making your first maybe couple $100,000 a year from your micro personal brand, and even getting over $1 million a year with a personal brand. But then obviously selling the Flowsy software as the main tool that will fuel being able to fulfill sales of a product or a service to potential customers or clients of a personal brand. So that is where he's got to right now, and this is what I wanted to initially explain before I get on to how he's done this and why he's got to this point in his career so far, from getting to the point where he's now sold the one thing. He's sold personal branding to everybody, and along with obviously selling the software of Flowsy to his customers and clients. So I want to get to the second part of this video now, which is explaining why Iman Gadzhi's done this, and then leading on to the other methods that even Iman Gadzhi hasn't used himself yet in his career, that I'm be excited to see if he does start using in his career, alongside obviously building a personal brand. So without further ado, let's get into the rest of the video. So just before we dive into the exact tactics behind Iman making well over $100 million in his career and many, many millions in profit, if you are a small business owner and you are struggling with the marketing right now, then I have a free link below this video to a 5-step blueprint to help you scale your business beyond 7 figures per year in revenue. So regardless of what stage you're currently at in business, whether you're struggling to make 4 or 5 figures per month, or you're in the high 6 figures per year, that 5-step blueprint below will help you scale to well over 7 figures per year in revenue. So I highly recommend you download that free blueprint below. Otherwise, I've got nothing to sell you, and I want to get straight back into Iman Gadzhi's exact marketing tactics. So let's get straight into it. So to begin with, obviously, Iman started out as an agency owner, and that's how he made his first $1 million profit. But obviously, everybody really knows that at this point. Everybody knows he went into coaching, consulting, and then providing his info product line, Agency Navigator, Agency Accelerator in the last year, and obviously copy-paste agency, agency incubator in between. So he's made all these offers before, he's made all these digital products, but how did he even do that? Well, it all started with him obviously needing to make this shift from the agency owner to now this guy that actually knows how to start and scale an agency. So obviously he had to then position himself as, instead of just, I'm going to be this guy talking about some of the nitty-gritty details of social media marketing, he decided to do a quick shift. So instead of positioning himself as this kind of expert in SMMA, he decided to position himself as the leading expert in SMMA, however, approaching every single type of person that wants to start an online business. And this is one of the biggest shifts he actually mentioned in the last year with his digital marketing presence, with his own personal brand that he's been talking about. He didn't position himself as the expert on SMMA. He positioned himself as the expert on SMMA within the entire online business space. So he's not just appealing to 1% of a tiny audience. He's appealing to massive audience that might not even know whether an agency is something they should get into or not. And that's why he made one of his VSLs on YouTube, and that's alone made him well over $200,000 in his career. And he's also made over $20 million just from that video as well in profit from his courses. So that's why one of the biggest things for him in terms of personal branding hasn't just been building a personal brand off of your expertise, but it's been how you position your expertise in the process. Because if he just carried on talking about his, coaching and his consulting and how he's, made different ad campaigns, and all he did was talk about the specifics of social media marketing, maybe he would have made got a couple of million followers and subscribers over the last couple of years, but he wouldn't have amassed the millions and millions and millions of followers across his social media profiles and channels if he didn't talk about online business and making money online in general. And that's the exact pivot he did to basically guarantee his success in his career so far by appealing to a much wider audience, therefore more people seeing the potential for how to make money online. And obviously in the end he was like explaining all the different types of business models and explaining how for him, obviously, making a social media marketing agency at the beginning and even drop servicing, which he talks about, is one of the best, beginner friendly ways to actually start making your first $5,000 to $10,000 a month in your life and in terms of in business in general. And so that is how he made the pivot from basically agency owner that was doing a little bit of consulting on the side to now, this is how I'm going to position myself as the leading info product guy in the online money making space, and especially to begin with in the agency space, because basically everybody in the online money space knew of him because of how he positioned himself in that space. But obviously everybody now sees you as the agency guy. Everybody sees him as the horses guy now, the info guy. But this is exactly how he positioned himself over the last few years to help him make hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue and many millions in profit. Now, of course, we have the transition to when he's begun to talk about software, because obviously you can spend a couple of years helping beginners starting out in our agencies, making their first $10,000 a month, get to maybe $100,000 a month or a few hundred thousand, maybe $1 million per year like he did at the beginning. But obviously, this is just selling the product. This is just selling someone the knowledge and the ability to implement everything they've learned from within this course and within the information they've purchased to be able to make that money. But how else can he make money from that same audience? And this is exactly how he positioned himself to be able to then start selling tools. And I want to talk a little bit about how he's decided to go, how at this stage in his career, he decided to go from, again, just selling the product to then selling the shovel. And Luke Belmar, actually another influencer, talked a lot about the gold rush in his Capital Club demo and when he was opening that. And Iman's done the exact same thing, because he transitioned from selling coaching and selling the ability to provide a service to then selling the shovel. And this is one of the biggest things that multi-millionaires, centimillionaires, and even billionaires and the most successful people in the world do, is they transition from selling a product or a service to then selling the ability to provide products or services. And this is exactly what Iman Gadzhi did when he started with Agency Flow, which turned into Flowzy in the last couple of years. So what did he do? Well, he basically created a software tool selling the shovel for agency owners and service-based businesses that have gone through his packages, have gone through his products that they purchase, and now they have an all-in-one solution to their clients as marketing agency owners or any service-based business to provide as like this all-in-one solution for his old customers that have now become his long-term clients. And so this is the exact definition of selling the shovel. It's during the gold rush, everybody was trying to rush to California during the gold rush in the US to go and mine for gold and go and dig for gold. But the person that made the most money was the guy that capitalized on that demand and decided to sell shovels to those massive amounts of people that wanted to dig for gold. And so the guy that made the most money was the guy that sold the shovel. And this is exactly what's happening here. Iman Gadzhi decided to transition to selling the shovel rather than just trying to offer people the gold. Instead of offering people the gold forevermore, he decided to transition and now sell the tool for the long term to help agency owners and service-based businesses. And now, of course, in the last couple of months, as of 2025, as of recording this, he transitioned into kind of the second stage of selling the shovel, selling tools. And it's kind of like Tools 0.0 as I've named it here, which is basically now selling the personal brand blueprint plus the Flowzy software. And this is basically him positioning himself as, I'm going to give away all my secrets. I'm going to show you how you can do exactly what I've done. But obviously you don't really want to do it on my level unless you really want that headache and that stress. But nonetheless, he's now selling people not only on the Flozy subscription, but on the ability to make more money from your marketing out of building a micro-personal brand and starting to sell a high-ticket product or service to customers with a micro-personal brand by building a small personal brand of 5, 10, 20,000 followers across social media, of hyper engaged audience members and viewers that are much more likely to buy your product than if you have millions of just fairly interested but not really bothered to buy your products or services level of viewers. And that's exactly what Iman has sold here. He sold the ability for all of his previous customers and clients to build a micro-personal brand, begin to start selling high-ticket products and services, and then incorporate the operational side of those elements into his software with Flozy. And this is exactly how Iman has gone from agency owner making his first million or two to now he's made over $100 million, built that personal brand, positioned himself as the info guy and the course creator and the SMMA guy in the online money making space. As if he didn't do that, he probably would have just maybe made, got a couple million followers, been that SMMA guy in the SMMA space, but nothing else would have happened. And that's why he made that pivot to become known as the online money guy, or the social media guy in the online money space. And now he got to the point where he's helping other people build their personal brands too, which is all to do with ultimately selling the shovel to your audience. So in a second, I just want to dive into the exact other types of marketing that you can also do, because obviously not everybody wants to start a personal brand, or not everybody wants to, try and, start doing TikToks or YouTube videos, whatever it might be, to try and grow your audience. Not everybody has a high ticket digital product or service they want to sell to their audience. So I want to dive into the exact methods and types of marketing that you can implement in your business today to be able to consistently grow your business and continue to scale it to wherever you want it to go. So I'll see you in the next part. So I want to break down 5 types of marketing that you can implement into your business today, regardless of what shape or size your business is, whether it's a product or service-based business, whether you're only making a few $1,000s a month, or you're making high 6 or high 7 figures per month or per year in your business. These are 5 types of marketing you can implement from today. So the first one is a very well-known one, and it's basically like the influencer catalyst. And this is influencer marketing. And obviously this is Michael Jordan, when Nike decided to partner with him to make the Air Jordans. And this is an insane kind of branding positioning here for Nike, obviously, because this was kind of the inception of where a brand decided to pair themselves with someone of huge influence. Because of course, before this, there wasn't really any big brand in the world that had ever decided to basically associate themselves with a certain public, famous celebrity or sports personality or any kind of influential figure in the world. And Nike decided to be one of the first big brands to actually do this, and obviously partner up with Michael Jordan to release the Air Jordans. Now, why does this work? Well, I want to dive into the specifics, but Alex Hormozy made a great video on that. If I remember to, I'll link at that below. It's his branding like masterclass video, and it's all about the association of 2 different things. Because again, Nike just sells and sold sports shoes, right? They sell trainers and sports shoes. So how do they get people that don't care about their brand to buy from them? Well, they associate their brand and what they sell, their sports shoes, with people that absolutely love a sports personality like Michael Jordan. And of course, as soon as Michael Jordan starts talking positively and starts using this shoe, the Nike Air Jordans, people suddenly really badly want to buy whatever Michael Jordan uses, because they are massive fans of him and ultimately want to be like him, because that is ultimately the power of influence. People want to be like that person. People want to kind of mirror that person just because of our kind of natural tribal, kind of innate instincts as humans. We want to be like our leader in a way. And when we are being led by someone, we want to imitate what they do. And that's why this works so well as influencer marketing goes. Now, the next one is the icon effect, which again is basically, in a nutshell, what Iman Gadzhi has done in his career. This is personal branding, or branding on any level. So of course, Iman Gadzhi's done this, Alex Hormozy's done this, Andrew Tate, Luke Belmar, Jordan Welch. Obviously, these are kind of the online money-making influencers, but you've got, even Apple with, Steve Jobs, and I know he says Steve Cook, but Steve Jobs and Tim Cook. Although they aren't necessarily like promoting the lifestyle brand, but like Alex Hormozy or Andrew Tate or Iman Gadzhi or Luke Belmar are, but they are certainly representing what they have to sell. They are, in this case, like Andrew Tate, Luke Belmar, Iman Gadzhi, they are doing like lifestyle personal brand marketing, which is they represent a certain lifestyle that they know that their audience wishes they have and resonates with, and so they want that. And so whatever these influencers are promoting or whatever these influencers are selling, they want, because they want whatever they have. And it's basically like, I want what you have because you have the life I want, basically. So 1 + 1 must mean 2 in this case. And that's exactly how the icon effect works, because in most cases, and 80% of the time, it is lifestyle marketing here, where you are pairing a lifestyle with what that person has as a result of it. And so basically, if you're saying, this is my, like, as you can see behind me, this is my lifestyle, I'm selling this, and it's exactly how I got this. So if you want this, you want to buy this. And that's exactly what lifestyle marketing and the icon effect has done for the world in terms of marketing. So that's exactly what you can do. And you can do it on any level, to be honest, because again, people that are, to be honest, nobody's can do this. If you aren't known by anybody online, if you don't have a massive following on social media, it doesn't matter. If you present a certain type of lifestyle, even on a microscopic small level, you can, it's a way you can make money, because it's a big influential factor in marketing any products or services that you sell. So it's not necessarily about the size of the audience you have; it's about what you're showing, and what you show is proof in a lot of in a lot of cases. So this is a big influential part of marketing as far as like the icon effect with personal branding goes. The next one is a narrative. And this is, again, anybody can do this on any level. You've got basically what it comes down to here is it comes down to content and how you position your content, because content on any level can be posts you write on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. It can be pictures or videos you put on social media, whatever it is. But ultimately, people have an association of what you stand for as a business, whether you're a tiny contractor or whether you're a multi-million-dollar corporation. However you present yourself, whatever people associate with your brand, which again comes down to the branding as well, but this is driven by the content in this case. However you show your brand and whatever you show off as, this is what we do, or this is what we sell, or this is how we associate ourselves with, people align with that or don't align with it, depending on how you position yourself. So the content you put out is key in this case, and the narrative you tell your audience or your potential audience is crucial to how you want to position yourself to the potential target markets. Because, of course, for me, as an agency owner, I'll give you this example. If I was to suddenly position myself as the expert of, I don't know, like oral health and toothbrushes, I mean, for a start, that would be a meme because my teeth are terrible. But it would be the opposite of a shining example. Or let's say like the vacuum sales. If I positioned myself as the most amazing guy when it comes to, like, I know, Dyson and vacuum cleaners, like that would be a pretty bad brand positioning for me, because none of my target audience really care for getting a new vacuum cleaner or teeth in this case, and oral health. So of course that came to my mind as a good example because of my oral health and my teeth like that. But nonetheless, positioning, and especially positioning with your content, is powerful for shaping whatever narrative you present to your audience. That's a big part there. And now this one is digital pulse. And ultimately, this comes down to basically how you position yourself across social media. It's not just your content, but what social media platforms you're on, how you engage on social media platforms, like what type of content you're going to be doing in the first place. Because you're going to be the guy that's on Pinterest famous, or you're going to be YouTube famous or LinkedIn famous. And of course, you can be famous on more than one platform, but most of the time, I would say 60 to 80% of your influence comes from one particular audience. For instance, Iman Gadzhi is really quite famous on YouTube. He's made loads of YouTube videos, made millions of dollars from YouTube. So positioning yourself in a certain way, especially given the platform, will have a massive effect on a type of audience you attract as well, because of the demographics and just often the features and benefits in the algorithm of those platforms as well. So consider where you want to position yourself and how you want to position yourself on different platforms, because you can be on every platform or on different platforms, but each platform will have its own unique effect on your audience and how you decide to present whoever you are as a business. Now, the last one is more of a piece of, where you can put your marketing efforts into practice. And this is ultimately like the click magnet. It is how you get people to click on your website, how to get people to click on your lead magnets, your offers. And this is like Google. This is all to do with getting clicks on your website. So as far as this type of marketing goes, this isn't about becoming some big personal brand. This isn't about showing yourself as some crazy influencer lifestyle, whatever it is. But it's simply about being the person or being the brand that is associated with having like that website that always shows up. And the best example of this is there is a website, well, there is at least a bunch of social media memes, especially in the kind of marketing space, about a restaurant that is called the number one restaurant. And so there's a meme, obviously, in the marketing space that the search engine, the SEO optimization for the clicks on that restaurant's website and on Google are going to be amazing because they've called themselves the number one restaurant. And so if you position yourself in that way where you align yourself with certain keywords or search terms or trends in a given industry or in a given space, you can be associated with whatever those search terms are and make lots and lots of money against your for your target audience just by positioning yourself for those keywords, for those search terms, or whatever you might want to position yourself as when it comes to like Google and your search terms and your website visitors. Because it might not seem like much. It might just seem like this is just like a Google campaign, but you can do a lot for free here. A lot of people just put leverage all their time and effort into basically making sure that their website has the best search terms for a specific type of industry, so that everybody in that industry, even though it might only be a few thousand people, see their ads, see their content, see their website, see their offer, and buy from them. And of course, having a few thousand people that are interested in your product or service that is a high ticket maybe is much better than having millions of people that click on it and never decide to do anything or never decide to buy. And that's exactly like the micro personal brand that Iman Gadzhi talks about as well. So that is just a simple breakdown of at least a click magnet there for Google Ads, along with every other digital pulse, the narrative, the icon effect, like Iman himself and many other influencers, and the influence catalyst as well, is a big part of how you have multiple options, 5 options here, 5 steps, which all kind of do merge in certain ways together as well to be able to help you start or scale your business as well. So that is all I have to really go through in this video. If you do want more help as a small business owner or any size of business owner in trying to scale your business or grow your business, as I run a marketing agency myself, there is a link below to download the 5-step blueprint to scale your business well beyond 7 figures per year in revenue. So if you want to know more about how you can do that, feel free to follow the link below. I've got nothing to sell you in this video besides offering you free value below, and obviously this video as well. But nonetheless, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.